Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Revell, and this week's build I'm featuring here, this is a 1960 Chevrolet Impala. And this was the top dog bad boy at that time, but it does predate the Super Sport package, which came out in 61. But there's a number of things with the 60 Impala. This is a big car, but it definitely represents the jet age. And it was based upon the 59's tooling as far as the real car and, of course, the model kit as well. But very little sheet metal was actually interchangeable between the two, as they refreshened quite a bit of it. Most noticeable is the jet rocket on the side and the strip there, definitely showing the jet age and the influence at that time, along with the big wide tail fin. But return to the three round taillights, or round taillights for 1960 versus the cat eyes of 59, but the 58 Impala also had the round taillights, and three of them. But the big fin was toned down a little bit, but it's still present, still there. And I like the styling of the 60. It's pretty cool, and it's definitely iconic for its time period. And it's got a number of things going on with it, but Chevrolet had some secrets and some things going on with it as well. Now, they did produce a ton of these. This was when GM was making cars hand over fist, and in the Impala lineup, the numbers are kind of, nobody really knows exactly. I've seen numbers as high as 511,000 Impalas or 490,000 Impalas. Now that's two-door, four-door, and convertible. And then a couple of things between them, whether it's a two-door sedan or two-door hardtop, and same thing with the four-door sedan and four-door hardtop, and some of the body styles there. There was no Impala wagon in 1960, but there were wagons, Brookwood and Biscayne, and there's one other, I can't think of the name, but there were multiple wagons. But they almost made like a million, right around a million of this body style in 1960 between the Biscayne, the Impala, and the Bel Air. So a number of these were available. But even in the Impala line, there were the inline six, the 235 inline six was the base engine, 3-speed manual or power glide automatic. And then they stepped up into two 283 cubic inch engines, a 2-barrel and a 4-barrel version. Nothing too crazy with that one. And then they also had the 348 engine. They had 5 different versions of the 348 engine, mostly due to compression ratio and horsepower. But there were 3 versions with 4-barrel carbs, and there were 2 versions with the tri-power setups on them. So, and that's what this model represents, of course, is the tri-power. And, that's what the Revell monogram gave you in that kit. And, it made a ton of power, but missing for 1960 was the 283 mechanical fuel injection. That was still available in the Corvette, but it became Corvette exclusive for 1960. It was available in the 59, but they're so rare because they were more expensive than the 348s, and they made less power. Plus, they were more high-tuned and less friendly to your home mechanics, or most shops didn't know how to work on them. But the 348, being cheaper and made more power, the fuel injection motor was 250 horsepower in the 283 and 59. But this 348 can make up to 350 horsepower with the tri-power. Actually 360 with the tri-power and the high compression engine. And it was like 335 in the lower compression tri-power engine. But there was a kind of a secret. Did you know this car actually told you which size motor it had by the emblems on the deck lid and on the front grille there? It's a little secret. So, and that's if it stays true to what it is. The emblem in the front, if it has the Chevrolet crest, which is the red and white emblem with the blue bow tie in the middle, if it has that only, it's the inline six. If it has that with the V below it, it's the 283. But if it's the 348 car, it has those cross flags and the V. Same thing with the back. The 348 car has the cross flags and the V. So that would signify what motor was in it. Now, whether or not that's true today after all these years and part swapping, but I find that interesting that it's that way on the front and back. But the cross flags here with the Impala animal on top of it, all of them had that on an Impala. So it told you, but it didn't tell you in actual numbers. So kind of a secret, but Chevrolet was doing that back then. You can see it in most commonly the 57. You'll see some with the V and some without the V. So if you see the Chevrolet script without the V, that's a 6-cylinder car originally. And if it has the V, the gold V below it, it's an 8-cylinder car. But specifically which engine? No, but it would tell you fuel injection. But that's on the 57s. But in 1960, there was no numerical call out. But we'll get more into this one. Let me take this outside and we'll see how it looks in the sun. All right, here we are out in the sun, showing off this 60 Impala. And you know, the black and all the chrome that's on this kit just really shines and everything in that bubble top. Wonderful kit. I mean, love the way this one looks and everything. I mean, comparing it to the annual, but I mean, this thing just outshines. And when done properly, other than getting that trunk lid to sit kind of flat, I had a little issues with that. But that's because once you mount it to the hinges and get everything fitting together, it kind of pops it up. But that's what I was dealing with. But just a good looking car, and I could not decide on what colors to go with. So on this one, I went with jet black for the jet age. So really cool with all this chrome and those tail lights and the fins and a rocket on the side. Just a cool car and an iconic car, and the body right before the SS option came out in '61. But this is quite a bad boy, and it's a great kit. You guys got to build one of these if you haven't. If you're an Impala fan, I'm sure you got one. But just a wonderful kit and a lot of fun. But she's looking really good in the sun, even though black and everything. But we'll head on inside and we'll continue on. Okay, when it comes to this model kit, this is a good model kit and a lot of fun and pretty accurate too, by the way. The hood opens, which reveals there's the 348, and this air cleaner, I have it loose. You can get it off so you can see the tri-power setup right there. So there's the 348 and tri-power, and it's tucked in there pretty good. I like this model kit as far as the accuracy seems to go and everything. I don't know the real cars that well, but I do like it. And I do know one thing with the model kit is it has the 59's chassis, and the giveaway right there is the spare tire well right here. The 59, the spare tire well stood up. In 60, this side should be flat like this side, and the spare tire lays flat. So I didn't realize that or know that when I built this kit, and I left it alone, didn't think too much about it. It does have an X perimeter frame, which the Chevrolet kept it all the way till 64. 65, they went to a perimeter frame in these. You can see the tranny right there. Whether or not that's the Power Glide, which I believe it is. Yeah, that's a Power Glide. Right behind the 348 on this, which was available. And the 4-speed was available behind the 348s as well. Pretty rare, but they were available. And, you know, this interior, love this interior. Bucket seats were not available in 1960. But I had to go with the red. I went with the box art as far as the color schemes. I liked the black, and I was just thinking jet black for the jet age, along with this side stripe and emblem here. And this thing went together really well. Now, I have a little trouble with this trunk. This trunk is pretty cool. It opens right up. It's, you know, got the decals under the trunk lid. Here, it does have the spare tire oriented the correct way for 1960. The kit did do that. So, but I didn't realize that at the time. But this trunk fit really well, but now it's just kind of hard to get it to sit flat and whatnot. I can push it down, but it pops right back up. But no, that doesn't bother me too much. But this thing is a blast to build, and believe it or not, it's actually the only Impala I actually have built. I've got a ton of them, 58 all the way to 69, 70 actually in model kits. I got all of them, 58 through 70. But this is the only one I've actually built. And it was kind of funny is it had the big box and it was collapsing because I had that particular version of it. And I just got tired of the box and decided I'm going to build this one just to get it out of the box. So that's kind of how this one got built before some of the others. But I wasn't too enthusiastic about what exact colors it was. I was having trouble figuring out what I wanted to do and what color combo I wanted to go with. But I knew, you know, as it was in the kit, that was how I wanted to build it. 348 tri-power, the white walls, the hubcaps, all of this stuff. So it's kind of funny that it's got a lot of the cross flags all over it, and they really didn't mean anything except for the front and rear emblem and getting the foil on there and some of this stuff. But a really cool car, especially with this bubble top. You know, the bubble tops just really make it. A lot of glass, and I'm sure it was hot and uncomfortable under there in the extreme sun. Oh, and it had the AC was optional, but the fact that there were actually 2 air conditioning systems available, I don't know too much about that specifically, but it's kind of funny to think that there was the AC system and then there was the upgraded deluxe AC system. So it's kind of funny to think that there was the good AC and then the better AC. But some cars are that way even now. Some have AC and some have automatic temperature control AC where you set it for a temperature and it'll stay there. But I don't know specifically the AC in these, what the difference between the two were. But pretty cool stuff. But anyway, I figured I would share my one and only Impala that's actually built with you guys. And since I got a bunch of others and I'm half tempted to actually build another one, especially as I'm going through some of my kits and sharing the details of the Impalas and the kits, since I've got a ton of them or some available to me. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, subscribing, and make sure you check the video description below for all of our sponsors and everything, Hobby Nut Models. And you guys, you have a good weekend, and I will see you next time.